This tennis player went from using only her upper body to hitting serves using her whole body in just a few minutes. And today I'm going to show you exactly how she did it so you can add huge power to your serves. Before we get to the step-by-step drills, I want to show you how the best players in the world store and release energy with their lower body. As Novak goes back in his trophy pose here, I want you to look at his legs. And as he gets to his deepest points, I want you to notice that his front leg is bent at about 90 degrees at the knee, and his back leg is bent a little bit less than that. And that's very typical for a platform stance where the feet stay farther apart. When professional players bring their feet together in more of a pinpoint stance, both legs will be at about 90 degrees. Okay, so from here, he's stored a lot of energy in his legs. And the timing is important. Right about when the racket starts to fall into the racket drop is when his legs are going to start to drive against the court surface. This helps create additional stretch in his shoulder and also starts the process of unwinding his entire body up towards the point of contact. Notice how he's leaving the court surface with both feet, and then when he lands, it's going to be on his left foot, his front foot for a right-handed player. And notice how his foot is at least a solid foot inside the baseline. This is really important. It just simply signifies that he's not just pushing and driving upwards, but he's propelling all of his energy and force through the point of contact in the direction of his target as well. Now let's take a look at my student before we began the training, and before she even starts to hit her serve. I just want you to look at the stance she's in and look at her legs before she even begins her motion. It's a little bit tough to tell the exact angle because she's wearing black, but this is just her casual standing position. And as she goes back into her trophy pose, you'll notice that there's no difference in the angle of her legs or the bend in her knees. Another way of saying that is she's still kind of just standing there. Now, the good news is what she's doing with her upper body is excellent. She has a great racket drop. Her racket is mostly on edge back behind her. She gets the butt cap pointed up towards the point of contact, and she rotates around forwards through the point of contact really well. She's got a really nice, smooth, fluid upper body motion. Here, watch it in full speed. So I can tell that in her training up until this point, all of her focus has been on the upper body. And to be honest, that's the bigger deal. That's the more difficult part of the service motion, and it's the bigger lever you can pull. But now it's time for her to start to engage her lower body. All of those checkpoints that we saw with Novak are absent on her serve. There's no bend with her knees. There's no driving upwards as she starts to drop her racket and go up towards contact. So she's missing out on the benefit of getting additional stretch and range of motion on her shoulder down into her racket drop. And she is not leaving the court with both feet. And as a result, of course, she's not landing inside the baseline. So there's little to no intensity or effort with her lower body, and this could add a tremendous amount of force to what she's already doing well with her nice upper body motion. So here's the training we did together step by step. Because she's doing such a nice job with her upper body motion mechanics, I first just decided to demonstrate for her, here's what it would look like to drive off the court and land with your left foot inside the baseline. That was her initial target or goal. So I want you to watch her shadow through this and watch her left foot, her front foot, as she's leaving the court. She is getting off the court surface, but it's just, there's not a whole lot of intensity to it. There's not a whole lot of strength to it. And yes, she's doing it, she's checking the box, but she's only leaving the court by an inch or two, and she's not actually getting inside the baseline. That was my initial, let's try this out. Occasionally I get the feeling that a student is on the right track, has a lot of good awareness, athleticism, and if I just kind of demonstrate and be here's what you should try to do, and then hand them a ball and ask them to do it, maybe they'll actually do it. And, in fairness to this student, she's in the ballpark, she's getting close, but usually it requires some kind of additional push in the right direction, maybe a little bit of exaggeration, and that's what's in store next. Using these drills is going to make your serve much easier to generate power. And if you want to make the whole game of tennis easier as well, make sure to go to tennissecret.com, where I'll show you how to upgrade your targets and your positioning on the courts to make the game much easier for you and much harder for your opponent. That's because you'll be taking away their favorite targets and you'll be opening up easier ones for yourself to aim for. All you have to do is use the free training at tennissecret.com, and you'll learn how to run half as much in your very next match and also make half the amount of errors that you're used to. It's all for free. Just go to tennissecret.com and sign up now. Before I went to the exaggeration, I decided to just let her hit a bunch of balls and see if with the ball, with the explanation and with the analysis that we did, she could eventually kind of get moving in the right direction. Now, if you're a passionate tennis player, you've been taking lessons, this is where most lessons end. It's like the coach describes, hey, here's what you're doing now. They demonstrate, here's what you should try to do. Then they feed you a bunch of balls and they give you encouragement and say, okay, maybe tell you, okay, no, you're not quite there, not quite there. Or sometimes they're like, yeah, that's it. Usually when you feel like you're moving in the right direction, it's only by this much, but what you really need is like this much. And this is a perfect example of that. So as this student runs through these swings, and I'm watching her left foot, yes, she's leaving the courts. Yes, she's using her legs more than before. But I know just based on her athleticism, and she's only been playing tennis a short period of time, and she's advanced very quickly, I know she's got much more that she doesn't necessarily realize. So now it's time to kind of pull out the heavy artillery. So I pulled out a little plastic line and put it on the courts. I don't know, maybe this is just like 3 or 3.5 feet inside the baseline. And I told her, I want you to stand with your toes behind the baseline and jump clear past this line. Just a standing long jump or broad jump or whatever. What's it called? Long jump or broad jump? I haven't done this like since high school. But what I'm trying, and I demonstrate one for her here. Not trying to show off or anything. I've got a little bit of advantage. This is her very first jump. She does a great job. Sorry, the iPad didn't quite get into focus here. But look at how much additional force and intensity. And of course, this is not one-to-one, right? This doesn't port directly over into the serve. I'm just trying to get her to feel what it's like to use her body more explosively, more dynamically, and also coordinate that with her upper body. So watch now, you'll see a couple of jumps, and she starts to engage her entire body. She starts to get close. I just happened to place that yellow line in just the right spot. She's having to really push herself to try to get past that line. And sometimes she has a little bit of a false start. And honestly, this is excellent total body athletic training. This is what's required if you want to level up. There, she did it. She actually got past the line. And watch her face here and watch her reaction. She starts getting winded. She starts getting short of breath, and her comment to me was, I can't believe how high my heart rate is. She is unfamiliar with loading, storing, and releasing like super intensely her entire body all at the same time. Listen, if you want to level up your tennis strokes, this is what's required. Your whole body's got to be engaged. You need to use it all at the right time and in the right order. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of intensity. And anybody who tells you otherwise, that there's going to be some like secret tip or trick to hit a 100-mile-an-hour serve is absolutely lying to you. If you're already an incredible athlete, maybe. Like if you're already hitting 90-mile-an-hour serves, okay, maybe there can be some little like surface level like polish and we can hit 100. But if you're currently hitting 30 or 40-mile-an-hour serves, we've got a lot of work to do to learn how to coordinate the entire body together. And that's what this is teaching this player. After a final quality long jump, we move on to drill number 4. Now I'm gonna move that line up a little bit inside the baseline, and I'm gonna ask her to shadow swing now and clear the yellow line with her front foot. Previously, I was really kind of pushing and encouraging and being like, okay, just push harder, push harder. When she was just trying to get her front foot inside the baseline, she took her hoodie off, by the way. Now look at this. This is critical, everybody. We haven't changed anything else. This is her first attempt after the long jumps, and now she gets the idea. She's understanding how to coordinate all of this and drive much more explosively off the court. And previously, she was struggling to get her front foot past the baseline, and now she clears the yellow line by like a whole extra foot. Now, just to be clear, there's not necessarily any additional benefit to like going farther past the baseline. I'm just trying to teach her the general principle here that you can store and release a tremendous amount of force and energy using your lower body, which previously was completely passive. And now, with her first attempt after doing the long jumps, she goes way past the baseline, where previously she was struggling to just get past the baseline at all. Now it's time for her first hits after doing the long jump and after doing the shadow swing with the extra distance that we're trying to cover. Watch the difference here, how now she's launching her whole body off the court, and the goal again is to get her left foot past that yellow line, and she's right in the ballpark now. These are her first ever attempts, and she's now transferring much more energy, not just using her upper body, which is critical, but now she's just starting to learn how to coordinate all of this energy together across her entire kinetic chain and keep everything driving strongly up through the point of contact. Look at this huge difference now in just a few minutes of practice. This is her previous serve, just very slight kind of casual bend in the legs before, compared to now almost a 90-degree bend with her legs. And most importantly, she's using that energy. Watch how previously, as she went into her racket drop and reached up, this was the highest point that she was hitting, versus now she's driving and pushing up off the court. And I want to show you the difference. Actually, this is really interesting. Look at the top of her head. I didn't notice this before. And look at this kind of crease in the curtain. How would you like to gain like 2 or 3 inches of height as you meet the ball on your serve? That's a huge geometrical advantage to be able to hit the ball into the box on the other side. And we can see it in where she's hitting the ball too. The camera, or the iPad, is in the same location. Notice how the ball is right in line with that pipe back there behind the court. And look at where she's meeting the ball now. Now she's meeting the ball well above that spot. She's probably gained about 3 or 4 inches of contact height. And not to mention all of that energy that's driving up through the point of contact into the ball, and all of that energy that's now being transferred towards her target. Add all those improvements together, and we've just opened the door to a much stronger, much more confident, much more athletic serve. I hope you use these drills to make a big upgrade to your own serve. And if you want to make a big upgrade to your strategy so the game of tennis becomes much easier for you and much harder for your opponents, make sure to go to tennissecret.com and pick up the free training that will show you how in your very next match you can run half as much and make half as many errors the very next time you play tennis. Go check that out at tennissecret.com. Thanks so much for watching today. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next video.